Down it goes, in towards Billy Byrne with his first touch. Can he score?
Hello and welcome to the Hurling Podcast's Round 2 tips for the Fantasy Hurling Championship 2022. My name is Garry and I'm here as always with Ben. How are you, Ben?
Good, Garry. And you?
All good, all good. And Ben, I think we'll start by having a look at Ben's bold boys. So do you want to talk us through your team?
Overall, I think I did okay. I feel probably missed a trick. I think it was probably a mistake between putting Nicky Quaid in the goal. I think probably Kyle Hayes turned out a great option playing the forwards. And even if he moves to the backs, you still have a chance of scoring a goal like he did last year. Disappointed in general with Callum Lyons, Fintan Burke and David Blanchfield. Don't think they were mistakes of mine, say, as such, but they just didn't do it. Like Nicky Quaid in the goal, probably a big mistake, could have possibly got in Aaron Gillan either, but Kyle Hayes is the one I'd look at, that I probably should have got in. In the forwards, disappointed. It was a toss-up then between Connor Cooney and Evan Nyland. I will be getting Connor Cooney in this week for Evan Nyland, but Evan Nyland I thought was going to be on the freeze. Jason Ford, he's a man I won't be getting rid of. I think he's a bit of class. He just didn't have, you can't perform well every day. Stephen Bennett, a little disappointed with only freeze. Roy O'Connor wasn't his best. Alan Murphy is another man I'll be looking to get rid of. He was kind of in there for the particular fixture with TJ not been back, but I reckon TJ probably will start the next day. If not, sure, he's capable of scoring 1-4 when he does come on.
As he did.
Overall, not too bad. You're not rarely going to have everyone performing, but a bit to work on, and I will be using every single one of those transfers, I'd say.
So content. You're content.
Content, yeah. Like there's a long way to go.
Yeah. Well, I think you spotted your own mistake, and what I think is a mistake with Nicky Quaid in the goal, because for the round robin stage of Munster and Leinster, you can only have the two players from one team, and you've used up one of your Limerick guys on the goalkeeper. So, to get Kyle Hayes or Aaron Gillan in now, or Grode Hegarty or Cahill, like any of them, you need to take two transfers, one to get rid of Nicky Quaid and one to bring in the player you want to bring in. But what I'm worrying or wondering about here is the choice of manager. I know Limerick are good, but surely there was a better choice of manager closer to home.
There was. Well, I'm aware that Wexford do win their titles when they draw all the round robin games. So that's what I was thinking,
Okay, so a bit of strategy is there. We're going to go across to my team now, where you'll see that I've picked Darragh Egan as a manager because, as we said as I said in my article, 5 tips for the Fantasy Hurling Championship was to pick the manager of the team that you think is going to win the All-Ireland. Simple. So Darragh Egan's in there for me. Okay, to look at my team, mostly happy. Kyle Hayes and Diarmuid Burns were there with big scores. I actually copied James Madden off you, Ben, if truth be told. So thanks for that. A nice 11 points there. Noel McGrath was a last-minute decision to bring in. It was I had Joe Cooney there. Then he got 2 points, but I swapped him for Michael Breen, who got 2 points. And then last minute decided, no, I go for Noel McGrath. And he got 4 points from play, and then he took over the freeze from Jason Ford and got another 2 of those. So very happy with that choice. I did contemplate putting Donald Burke as captain, which would have been nice, but similar to yourself, I went for Alan Murphy for the fixture. And similar to you, he'll probably be transferred out now for a certain TJ Reid. There's an obvious duck egg there at the top of the screen in Cahill Dunn, 0 points for Laois because he's their sub keeper. Now, I was actually trying to be a bit too smart there, and Ben, you were all for it. So I had Ender Owens in the goal. Ender Owens has scored 15 points when he scored a goal and 2 points against Dublin. But then thinking I was going to be clever, I said I'd pick a goalkeeper that wouldn't even play. He'd get no points, so that means he can't get minus points. And Ben, you thought that was a good idea, so you encouraged it.
I said not a bad shout. You'll notice my keeper got 3 points, which is 3 more points than your keeper got.
That is true. That is true. I don't know. The game is not won in round one, so maybe it'll still turn out to be the right decision. Like, for example, the Westmeath keeper did concede 5 goals, and I think he scored minus 8 points.
It's amazing now how Kilkenny did score 5 goals. You have 2 Kilkenny forwards, and none of them got in on the act, really.
No, they didn't. That was a little bit disappointing. I think Owen Cody was very well marked in the game, and Alan Murphy did come off. He came off midway through the second half, but basically before Kilkenny decided to score all the goals.
I wonder if that related.
It possibly. It was also TJ Reid coming on. I think it was James Maher that came on for Alan Murphy, who is back in the game. We'll go ahead now and we will look at some of the players that did well in the game week. So these are the top scorers in the week. We have Donald Burke at the top with 36 points. Dermot Burns, 34 points. Killian Doyle in third place with 25 points. Ben, did you have him in your team, in your draft?
I did, but I was recommended to take him out of my team by Des Maiden, if you recall.
Oh yes, I do remember now. Des said that Killian wouldn't be a good choice.
Actually, you asked him to look at my team, and he spent the whole time just saying how I shouldn't have Killian Doyle in the team. That was it. No other recommendations.
So have you got regrets there?
I do.
25 of them.
Yeah.
Who else?
And good, decent fixtures to come, so he could get similar points in future.
Probably not an option to bring back in, to bring in at this stage, though, is he?
Well, I think he still could be, because that was a very difficult fixture. He still has Leash to come, so he could. I probably won't be bringing him in, but I wouldn't rule him out.
Yeah. The thing is, he is going to do most of Westmeath scoring, so I've actually color-coded this so we can see the forwards in green, the midfielders in purple, and the backs in yellow. So there are a couple of backs there to make the list. I mean, it is a forwards game, but finding the right backs is kind of the key. Dermot Burns and Kyle Hayes were the standouts from the weekend, but James Maher, who only came on for Kilkenny, and Shane McNulty from Waterford had big scores. I just don't know if there'd be options to bring in. Patrick Curran looked very good as well. Desi Hutchinson, 24 points. The problem with that is that Waterford only have one fixture in round 2, similar with Cork, and all the rest of the teams have got 2 fixtures.
Whatever transfers I do make, I won't be bringing in a Waterford player or a Cork player because of that. Like, I have 2 Waterford anyway. I'd probably keep Stephen Bennett because I know what he can do. But I certainly wouldn't be getting, if I do get rid of Callum Lyons, I certainly won't be getting in another Waterford man until after these 2 game weeks.
Yeah, that makes sense. If we look at then a team of the top scorers, that is Ender Owens in the goal, with 15 points that I didn't get. Thanks again, Ben. Shane McNulty, Kyle Hayes, Dermot Burns, James Maher, Mikey Carey, Declan Hannon, Noel McGrath, and Jamie Byrne after coming on. So he is back from his injury, and I think, Ben, similar to what you just said, he'll be an option, a huge option, but just not this week.
Yes, and he will even be an even better option because he didn't start at the weekend because he hadn't got enough hurling. He might not start again this weekend coming or the next game because he might not have enough hurling. But after those 2 game weeks, you have to expect that he will be in the team and will be starting.
Yeah, he's one I'll be keeping an eye on, but at the moment too soon. Then we got Donald Burke. Padraig Walsh, Ben. I do recall you saying that he is an option, but you being talked out of it. Was it talked out of it or just disagreed with?
Well, there was another recommendation from Des Maiden that Padraig Walsh is not an option because of the other forwards that Kilkenny have, such as the ones you had, Alan Murphy and Owen Cody. Padraig Walsh is not an option, but 21 points. He doesn't look too bad there right now.
Looks okay there, yeah. And yeah, himself and Walter Walsh were probably the two standout forwards for Kilkenny. And TJ obviously coming in. Martin Keown didn't do anything after, did he?
I don't believe he was a good shout.
Anyway, the rest of the team is Patrick Curran from Waterford, Killian Doyle, Aaron Gillan, and Desi Hutchinson with 24 points. Who were the players then, Ben, that you think didn't do so well?
Well, obviously, from my own point of view, quite disappointed that Callum Lyons didn't get any scores. He's usually quite a good scorer from the backs. Didn't do much. David Blanchfield, who had been flying in the league scoring points from wing back, didn't either.
Actually, yeah, Mikey Carey outscored him. And I did say that I would have gone for Mikey Carey over Blanchfield. But, of course, I went for the two Kilkenny forwards. Jason Ford had a very unusually quiet game because he's not a player I'd be looking to get rid of, though.
Yeah, same. He is class, just didn't have his best day. I expect him, like, if things are not going well for him, I reckon Tip will just move him to a different place in the forwards, and he will turn it on because he is a class player. I'm particularly disappointed by my two Galway men. Now, in many ways, I'm not, because if they did well, they would have been doing well against Wexford. But say Nyland didn't take the freeze, Conor Cooney did. I'll be getting in Cooney. Fintan Burke, I expected him, he could get an odd score, but he could take sidelines and score sidelines. Galway had an opportunity for a sideline. They almost scored it, but it wasn't Burke who took it. It was Conor Cooney who took it. So maybe he's one that could be moved out.
Yeah, I've only got the one Galway man. I'm probably looking for a second, but I just don't know who yet. Or other players that probably didn't do well. Martin Keown is one, and I actually think that that Des captained him as his looking for his differential captain, and was quite disappointed because he didn't do anything. And Owen Cody as well didn't get up to much. Rory O'Connor from Wexford didn't, compared to what he's been doing in the league, didn't set the place on fire, but I'd still be confident there's a big game in him this weekend.
Oh, I think so, yeah. Like I wouldn't be getting rid of Rory either. Another home game in Wexford Park.
Yeah.
He can do the business.
Now, if you have a quick look now at the transfer window, so this is round 2, and we've got Galway have got Westmeath and Kilkenny 2 home games. So, 2 Galway players is probably not a bad shout. Wexford have home to Dublin, and then they are travelling to O'Moore Park to play Laois. Again, 2 Wexford people wouldn't be a bad shout. Kilkenny have Laois at home, and then they travel to Galway. So 2 Kilkenny guys, maybe forwards as well, but that didn't work in round 1. Cork have the bye, and Waterford have the bye. So, as we've mentioned already, probably looking to stay clear of bringing those players in anyway, and possibly moving them out if for players that have 2 games. And Clare are back in action after missing round 1, and they will have 4 games in the next 2 transfer windows. So Clare players are not a bad shout.
Well, Tony Kelly is obviously going to be the most transferred in player this week, I think.
Yeah, you'd have to imagine so. If we talk about our transfers, then I'll go back to your team, Ben, and what are your transfer plans here?
Well, I'm 100% going to get Tony Kelly in. Probably God, I'm not sure. I plan to get TJ in as well. TJ for Alan Murphy. Tony Kelly in. God, it's tough. I would like to get Connor Cooney in. Nyland is going and Murphy's going. But then there's 3 forwards I want to get. TJ, Cooney, and Tony Kelly. So I'm not sure. Maybe one of them will have to hold off.
But the plan is looking at those 3.
The plan is looking at those 3. And I'm going to transfer out. Obviously, I'm going to transfer out Alan Murphy. So then I have a new captain change.
And who is the new captain choice?
Who is the new captain choice? It is a tough choice. Just looking at the fixture. Like, if I was confident TJ was going to start, I would captain him against Laois probably. Connor Cooney against Westmeath looks a good shout as well. Probably Clare have tough fixture against Tipperary, but then again, Tony Kelly
doesn't matter who he's playing.
Yeah, he's kind of fixture proof, isn't he?
Yeah,
he's this kind of player. In the backs, I'm probably looking to get rid of Fintan Burke. The other guys, I probably don't have enough transfers to get rid of Callum Lyons, but I'm not in any rush to get rid of Callum Lyons. I'm happy with the 2 extra guys I have. Stephen Bennett, even though he didn't light it up, he's still Stephen Bennett. He's still, remember what he did in the league. He's still class. He was obviously just himself, and the 2 best players in the league, actually, if we look at it, Stephen Bennett and Rory. I think they scored a point from play between them.
Yeah.
So, there is a difference, and when you play so well in the league, you become such a marked man come first round of the championship. Like Daisy Hutchinson wasn't great in the league final. Ended up a 1-3 the other day. Just some days things go well for some lads, and for whatever reason, your man marked, and space opens up for someone else.
Desi didn't go fantastically at the weekend and still came off with 1-2 or 1-3, as you said. Like, it doesn't take sometimes the ball you can be not playing well and the ball can just fall right, like for the goal that was handed into him.
Yeah, so there's going to be my big decision. I'm getting rid of Nyland, rid of Murphy, and then I want Kelly, I want Reid, and I want Cooney. So I'm going to have to pick two between 3. So it's going to be tough.
Yeah, you'll wait till the fixture or the teams are announced before you decide anything anyway.
Oh, yeah. Unless I'm willing to get rid of Jason Ford as well, which I'm probably not.
Oh, I wouldn't.
but we'll see. He had a poor game, so maybe someone might get dropped. I don't know.
Yeah. Gonna have a look at my team now, and this is what I am doing. Cahill is staying in goal. I'm standing by my decision. So I have 2 transfers made here already. In Tony Kelly coming in for Stephen Bennett. Look, I'll want Stephen Bennett back, but he only has the 1 fixture, and I want players that have 2 fixtures. Jason Ford has 2 fixtures, so he's staying. TJ Reid is in for Alan Murphy, and provided he starts, he will be the captain. And then the 3rd change, I'm still not sure. I am considering getting rid of Darragh Fitzgibbon for Joe Cooney, just to get that second Galway player, because Darragh Fitzgibbon only has the 1 game. Galway are home to Westmeath, home to Kilkenny, so that's what I'm considering. I don't want to get rid of any of the backs because I don't see too many backs scoring very much. Maher from Kilkenny, because he did so well coming on, would be a great option, but especially if he's announced to start, maybe in for Callum Lyons, but I already have 2 Kilkenny forwards there, so it's not really an option at the moment. So yeah, TJ most likely in. Tony Kelly has to be in, 3rd transfer. I'm going to wait to see the team sheets before I decide.
Looking at you getting rid of Stephen Bennett, I'll definitely consider that.
It's just
I
one game.
I do
against
want. I
two.
do want those 3 forwards. Yeah, and you can always get them back.
Yeah, you can
when
get
the
them
next
back.
transfer window comes up, you'll know more about who's going to be left in the competition. So you'll be able to choose to transfer out one of those players.
Absolutely.
Now, I expect it. Watford will be still in the competition, so you will be wanting Stephen Bennett back.
Yeah. Anyway, the last thing we're going to do, Ben, is we're going to have a look at the standings in the Nicky Rackard League. So do you want to talk us through it?
Well, Tomas Lally is in the lead from Namaga. Don't know the man, but fair play to him. Doing very well. If you look at his team, he made some very good choices, particularly his captain choice. He ended up with I think it was the highest played scoring point player in the game.
It was
Donald Burke. Then he does have a good few players like Callum Lyons, Fintan Burke, Darragh Fitzgibbon, Jason Ford, who are not scoring huge for him, but he made some excellent choices in Kyle Hayes, Dermot Burns, Noel McGrath, Killian Doyle. Wise choice to get in Killian Doyle. I'd imagine he's going to keep Killian Doyle. He wouldn't be in any rush to get him out the way he's going. And then come the end of the round robin, he'd be able to get him out. But he did very well. Looking at his team, I'm not sure who'll be looking to get rid of. Maybe one of the Waterford guys, or maybe Fitzgibbon. Edward Cullen, friend of the podcast, also did very well. Coming second, joint second.
I'm in the top 20, so I'm happy in 15th.
You're in the top 20, doing all right. Michael Doyle, number 7 there, last year's winner, doing very well again.
Maybe it might be worth getting Michael on to give us a few tips.
Maybe he could, yeah. I think I'm in page 2, I reckon. I'm in the bottom way down page 2. Yeah, number 35. Just below will you pull on the fucking thing. Yeah, I have a bit to do. I reckon I can get into page 1 maybe next week.
That's the goal anyway.
That's the goal, page 1.
Mine is top 10.
I'm taking baby steps. Now, if we go to page 4, Gary, we'll have a look, see who's propping up the table there.
Okay, page 4, you're saying? The last page.
As I see there, good friend of mine, all the way in Dubai, Colin Lacey, adrift at the bottom, 117 points.
Oh, Colin. Who had he got?
Okay. Let's see.
Well, I can see initially what his problem is. He picked an actual full back line.
Yes, he picked a good full back line as opposed to fantasy scoring full backs, yeah.
And he picked the wrong Michael Kiley. I didn't even realize there was 2 of them.
He did pick the wrong Michael Kiley. I didn't realize that. God, and yeah, Eamon Dillon is also questionable. He's kind of on and off the team for years. He's not on the freeze. Why would you have Eamon Dillon, the trollier, instead of Donald Burke? Keane Lynch is also, he's the creator of the scores. He does score his few points, but he's more the creator of the scores than the scorer, the finisher.
So, Colin, I hope you're looking and taking note of these tips that were given. Ben is not impressed.
Well, maybe he'll turn it around. And
send him on the link to the video, Ben.
I will. He needs it. He needs it by the looks of it.
Now, we did actually get a question in on Twitter. So it was from @HurlingFan. He asked, should we save our transfers for the knockout round or use 3 if we need to? So basically, the transfers don't carry. So you have 3 for this round. That won't affect any future transfers. So if you have 3 changes to make, like myself and Ben do, make them. And then one other question was, Ben, maybe you can answer this one. Des Miden wants to know, is Martin Keown still the obvious captain choice?
I don't know if that needs an answer, Gary.
All right, okay.
I'm not going to dignify it with an answer.
We'll leave it there. So thanks very much for watching, and join us again in 2 weeks for our next round of tips. Best of luck.
Thanks. Take care.
Down it goes in towards Billy Byrne with his first touch. Can he score?